Hello everyone, and welcome to my 70,000 subscriber Q&A. I cannot believe I'm saying that. 70,000 of you is a crazy amount, and even for the people that maybe haven't subscribed yet, which you should do, thank you. Thank you so much. It's unbelievable, the support, and even just for this Q&A, thank you so much for these questions. The last few Q&As I did not receive this much, and it's just amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough, and I just wanted to start out by saying that for me right now, it's a nice rainy morning, so get comfy, because this is the atmosphere that's going on right now. And I'm going to go into detail describing a lot of this stuff because I don't post a lot of Q&As, so if someone searches this up and really wants to get to know me, I want them to just be able to watch this one video. First of all, we're going to start with Patreon's questions because they are the extra special people who support my work that much more, and just viewing my stuff is obviously very supportive, but the fact that these people would put their money aside just to support me and my work it's mind-blowing, to be honest. I hope I keep making amazing audios for you in the future, but for now, just listen ahead to this Q&A. Okay, so the first questions come from Mel G off of Patreon, and they ask, what country or city would you love to travel to and why? So for me, I definitely want to travel to a lot of cities. Definitely a lot of places in America, New York, Los Angeles. I don't know if I'd want to live in those places because it seems like it's just a better place to visit than to stay, especially with the price that it costs to live there. But other than that, other than Western places, I guess you could say, in more interesting places, I would love to visit Japan and Korea. That would be amazing. And, having a job like this does mean that I could live in those places. But just to visit would be amazing, first off, and get to know the people, try to make friends. It'd just be amazing. And I go on YouTube and I watch all these Japanese vlogs, sometimes Twitch streamers, and they are it's just amazing. The people there just seem so nice, and I really just want to visit that place. Do you read books? And do you have a favorite one? I don't really read a lot of books. The one that I really tried to get into was Game of Thrones, but I just found it so long, and I ended up just losing the book, so I can't even continue where I left off. But definitely not a book person. I've probably listened to a couple audiobooks without remembering them. My favorite books come from my childhood, and they're not intellectual or overly stimulating in any way, like something like Atomic Habits or any of those finance books, which I've actually been meaning to read. So if you want to know the genre that I'd be reading, it would be finance. But there was a kids book series called Captain Underpants, and not only was it a book, but it also was a gateway to animation. It's gonna be hard to explain, but there's basically this flip book animation thing you can look up, and it was in the book, and it was so strange to me. I was like, wow, this is it's like stop motion basically, and it really inspired me, and it made me make a lot of YouTube videos that you are not able to find anymore. And it just inspired me creatively. And that was probably the biggest impact a book has ever had on me. And I still have them, which is great. What is your soul food? There is I don't know what you would call it. I guess Eastern cuisine restaurant called Wagamama, and it's spelled exactly how it sounds, and it's a chain, so it's not like local or anything. Like, it's around a lot of places, and they do a lot of noodles, curries, stuff like that. And they have this dish called katsu curry, and it is just unbelievably delicious. Like, I would eat it every single day. And some of my friends are convinced that I actually do eat it every day, but I don't. I leave it for special occasions and stuff. But if you're feeling in the mood for something really nice, I would check if you've got a Wagamama near you. This sounds like an ad. Get yourself this dish because it's delicious. What kind of movies do you watch? So, I haven't watched a movie in a while. I've been meaning to watch a lot of movies. I end up doing a lot of work and a lot of stuff, which takes up most of my time. I'm going to obviously talk about it more during this Q&A, but I'm as busy as I've ever been, and a lot of commitments kind of stop me from enjoying these things. But if I had to say what type of movies that I watch, it would definitely be... I've kind of just completely gotten out of the whole action movie phase. Like, I really like well-written, almost like character stuff where not a lot happens, but it kind of makes you feel something in the end. And it doesn't have to be like super dramatic, or like a thriller or something. People call it slice of life, and that kind of is what it means. But yeah, movies, anime, I don't really watch a whole lot of it. I will do in the future. The last movie I saw was The Batman. I didn't really like it that much, which I know a lot of people love that movie. I watched it when it came out, and I've just almost completely forgotten about it. So, yeah, take that for what you will. Can you cook and bake? Not bake. I definitely have never baked anything. I mean, I've baked brownies with my parents and stuff, but never my own direction. And cooking, well, I kind of do cook my own meals now. I find that when I'm well fed, I end up making better content for some strange reason, but I'm definitely all about my nutrition and stuff and making sure I'm healthy. So I do make some sort of food, but it's not baking. And the food that I do cook, it's not that complicated. It would just be peas, sweet corn, broccoli, a burger. I'm more about using food as a way of just getting it all into me so that I feel good throughout the day. Because there's some times where I know that I'm low on iron, or I'm low on like a vitamin, however you say it. And it really annoys me because it can slow down my work, it can make me feel tired, and it doesn't need to be that way. You know, you can just eat healthy and you'll feel good. And a lot of people forget that, even me. Is there any advice that you got or read somewhere that changed you in a particular way? Definitely. I don't know what it is about my TikTok page, my For You page, but there's so much inspiration and hustle and stuff, and I've always been a person that consume that kind of content because, you know, starting anything, a YouTube channel, music, it can take a lot out of you at the start. And if you don't enjoy the process and don't have perspective, it can get kind of sad, you know. You feel like if you're not making progress. But The quote that I always think of is that life is perspective. I see a lot of people getting bogged down by where they are, who they are, but when you take a step back and you realize that, say, if someone's mean to you, or if you're having a bad day, it's good to realize that a lot of the time people are mean to you because people have been mean to them. And you shouldn't take things just as personally as they may seem. Because I used to take so many things personally. Like, if someone was mean to me, I'd be like, what did I do? But most of the time, I know it sounds cliche, but it is a reflection of themselves. And if you could go into their life and see all their problems, maybe you would feel justified in hurting other people as well. Another quote that is kind of similar, it would be, if we all took our problems and threw them in a pile, you would take yours and run. I always thought that was a good one. And it basically means that you're actually not doing as bad as it may seem. And you might be luckier than you think. And that a lot of people are hiding their problems and not hiding them well, and they take it out on other people. And yeah, I mean, everyone hurts, literally. Everyone hurts people, and everyone hurts each other. And for a while, that was something that really bogged me down. But after hearing these perspectives and stuff, I try my best to not care anymore, but it's hard. But I think I'm getting there. Thank you so much for those questions. Let's move on to Lasky Chan, who asks, what moved you to start doing this? And do you ever feel embarrassed or awkward when recording audios? I used to, but now that it's so rewarding and stuff and people actually really enjoy it, it's hard to be awkward when you're making people happy. I believe that's how I completely overcame that feeling. Early on, it was pretty awkward, I didn't know how to do audio as well, and I still keep those videos up, even though I've improved. It's still a good reminder of where I came from, and it's fun to get comments on the first few videos of people being like, wow, there's so much of a difference. It's also a fun challenge to have to think of ideas really quickly, sometimes on the spot, not just for videos, but also for in the middle of a video, to spice things up. This next question comes from Nessa, who asks, do you have any tattoos or piercings? If not, would you like to get some? So for all the videos that I do the tattoo artist character, for a guy that plays that character, I actually have neither of those. Tattoos are strange. I think I might end up getting one, but probably in the spontaneous way than the actual planned way. I've definitely thought up ideas of what I would like, but I guess I've never been inspired to do it. I've never thought of myself as someone that would even look good with tattoos or piercings or anything like that. I'm definitely more of a clothes type person. I'm definitely more into fashion than I am cosmetic modification, I guess you would call it. But on other people, it's pretty cute all of the time, and it does compliment them. And yeah, I won't lie about that, it's pretty hot. The next questions come from Ink, who asks, are there any scenarios that you particularly love or would like to make more of? So definitely, there's some scenarios that I could do every single day and I'd still have ideas, but I always like to challenge myself, reinvent the next audio, try to make it something completely different. So I only let myself redo these things once or twice a month, and then I let them sit and I wait for new ideas. The tattoo artist ones are really good. I've done 3 parts to that. I find them so much fun, and I kind of feel like I'm talking about myself sometimes, because I do love art, I love drawing, but other than that, it would be also the aftercare ones, because they're just really cute and wholesome, I guess is the word. And people really love listening to them. They're some of my biggest videos ever, but I can't just make them all day. So if I could do any of those two, I would keep doing those. And sometimes the after argument audios is fun, because I'm very argumentative in real life, so I'm very familiar with that situation. Their other question I have answered before, but I'm just going to answer it because there's a lot of new listeners and they might not want to go back and listen to my first ever Q&A from a year ago, I think it was. So, do you plan the audio ahead of time, or is it go with the mood, improvisation? It is definitely all improvised. I make up the idea, I bullet point it, I notate little twists and turns that I might want to take the audio, but everything in between is completely improvised. I feel it makes for a better atmosphere and spontaneousness, and if I try reading a script, it doesn't ever sound right. So I just use notes, I use ideas, and I hit record and I just go with the flow. I know a lot of other creators do that, and I do think it's the best approach, definitely, especially for something as intimate as that, and people seem to really enjoy it, so I'm going to keep improvising. The next question comes from Lasky-chan again. I just scrolled down, there's actually more. Do you still play the guitar? If so, what's the last thing you learned on it? So, yes, I am completely obsessed with this instrument and music in general, and we're going to delve more into that throughout this Q&A, but I still play the guitar, electric guitar to be specific. And the way that I learn songs is I try to play the most, not the most complicated, but extremely complicated, hard to master songs. And it means that with one song, I can challenge myself in so many ways. And by the time that I can play the song, in full, to a click, absolutely mastered, it means that I get way more fulfillment out of it. And that's just how I've always been. But the last song that I learned, I'm actually in the middle of learning it, is a song called Stab Wound by Necrophagist, I believe is how you pronounce that name. I don't really like the song that much, but it is so difficult to play. And so far I've got all the notes and positions, in my head, so I can remember it all. But right now I'm just learning how to play it to the backing track, play it completely in time. And it takes a lot out of you. And I've been trying to get this down for like a month now. And yeah, that's the last song that I've tried learning. We'll get into music more in another few questions, but for now, that is the last song that I have learned on guitar. Have you broadened your love for music in other ways, other instruments? I really want to just completely dedicate my time to guitar in terms of music and free time. I would love to learn piano, but I don't know how long that would last. I don't really have a whole lot of role models that play piano like I do in music, where guitar I have a lot. But it would be interesting, and once you've learned one instrument, especially something like guitar, where it is very hard and you can easily make bad habits and mistakes, it's good to keep going. I know a lot of guitar players start off with violin, and you never want the journey to stop. There's a lot of things that when you conquer, you can easily translate over to a different thing, such as musical timing, notation, keys. All those musical terms are completely universal, and that's what's fun about it. But for now, I am absolutely into complete guitar worship. And we'll see where it takes me. The next question, I know a lot of people have asked this one, but basically, where is the Discord? As for right now, I had a Discord, and it was a while ago. It was like 2 years ago, and it just never went anywhere. I didn't have any admins. I didn't have any sort of setup that you would call a fully functioning Discord. And managing one takes a lot of time, and I don't want to invite people to a Discord that is supposed to be about me and have me in it, and I'm, too busy working on videos to speak to people. And a lot of shady stuff I've seen happening on Discords are from other creators and stuff like that. And I just don't want to subject my fans to any of those Discord creeps or scammers or anything like that, because almost all of us on Discord have nearly fallen for one, and it's just not a safe place. So I'm going to keep things on Patreon. If you really want to message me, you can be a Patreon, message me there. For right now, a Discord is completely out of the question. Sorry if I sound so condescending. I just get quite passionate about that because Discords are shady. End of story. The next questions come from Momo, who asked a lot of questions, so I'm just going to pick 2 or 3. What is your sense of humor? So my sense of humor is very dark a lot of the time, and it's been that way for as long as I can remember. But I also laugh at stuff that's just, like, for my age, it's just embarrassing to laugh at certain things. Like, still find that funny, but I guess I also have like a childish sense of humor as well. Yeah, that's what I would describe as my sense of humor. What do you do to relieve stress? I do an awful lot of napping. Now, obviously not everybody's in a environment where they can get their work done and do that, but for me, napping is the number one thing that calms my mind. And I do get stressed a lot, I won't lie. I have a lot of things that I need to get done in the day, and sometimes my ambition just weighs on me, and I end up coming to a standstill and procrastinate and stuff like that. So if I've gotten enough done in the day and I still have time later, I will take a nap, and I cannot recommend it enough to you guys. Even though some of you are not in the place to do it, I would say make time for it, because it can really calm your mind. And funny enough, my videos do help accomplish that. And try and set an alarm so that you get up and you don't end up sleeping in too long. And yeah. Do you have any pets? I do. I have a cat, and I wish that my cat could have kittens, but unfortunately she's neutered, so that's not possible. But it's a girl cat, and it's extremely friendly and cute and super patient, and it never gets angry for some reason, and it's just great. It's something I wish I could have more of because unfortunately cats don't live forever, and I couldn't imagine what it'd be like without having one, They just keep you company, they keep you warm, and they love you, and that's the amazing thing. Does the accent in your videos sound like that in real life? Yes, this is the way that I talk. I was a very sheltered child, and that means that my voice is just completely in shambles. Whenever you aren't out in the community a lot, when you're very young or growing up, you end up sometimes watching a lot of American media or British media, and you end up trying to sort of talk like they do, and you end up getting this weird voice out of it. And I think that just the thought of that is actually pretty cool, and I'm glad that I have this unique sounding dialect. But yeah, that's all I can sum it up to. The next question comes from Rose Baby, who asks, what is your zodiac sign? So my month of birth is August, and if you want to go through my community tab, you can see exactly when my birthday is because I celebrated it there. But I am a Virgo. That's my sign. According to most people that I know, I don't act like a Virgo, whatever that means. So take that for what you will. And let me know what you guys' signs are in the comments. It'd be interesting to see how many of you are also Virgos and stuff. Yeah. Next question comes from Peach, who asks, favorite drink? So I'm going to go with the alcoholic option here. And there's this drink called margarita, which is strange because, like, when you say that, you picture a pizza. But there's a margarita drink that it's like this red drink. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it is alcoholic and it is so good. It's, I guess you would call it a cocktail, but I fell in love with this drink. So if you're able legally to try it, because it is alcohol, I would highly recommend it to anyone. It's just so delicious. What is one activity that you would not want to do as a date? Definitely mini golf. I could not imagine a worse date scenario than that. Like, and it's so common as well. People just love to post themselves on those kinds of dates, and I don't get it. I could never imagine like being as competitive as I am and trying to also have a date and drink and play golf. Like, no. I don't know where that idea came from, but I would never, ever do that. Favorite pet name? Definitely, and I know this one isn't used a lot for some reason, but Snugrug. I love that name as a pet name. It's so universal and gender neutral, I guess you would say. And it refers to physical touch, which is definitely my love language of choice. So that would be my favorite pet name, and I would say it all day, every day. Next question comes from Emma, who asks, do you ever feel silly or laugh in takes? 100% yes. There's no other way to say it. I cannot do things all in one take. Even if I had a script and I had everything written down, I would laugh. And I've always thought about recording like a blooper reel or something like that, but I end up deleting these things as soon as they're recorded. You know, if I laugh or something, it's just immediately deleted. So I know a few others have created blooper reels, but for me, I have no material to work with, and that's a shame because I always wanted to upload something like that to Patreon, make people laugh. Maybe even title it as something serious, and then you hit play and it's just me stumbling over my words 1,000 times and laughing. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, maybe in the future. The next question comes from Lisa, who asks, do you get hot and bothered when making these audios? And if so, what turns you on the most? Well, the answer is an obvious yes. Sometimes it is a little too much to handle all at once, and it takes a while for me to actually get the audio finished, but yes. And as for my favorite, I would definitely say anything to do with size difference. Ooh, it's my favorite. These next questions come from YouTube, and to start it off, we have Kama. I believe that's how you say it. Do you listen to female for male audios? Not really at all. I might have early on to get like some ideas and stuff, but really like all the other creators I just use as inspiration. I don't really engage with a lot of this stuff. and I'm usually focused on making my own work that consuming it is out of the question. But it's obviously great to get ideas even from other creators, even if they're the opposite gender. Next question comes from YOFHSS. I don't know how to say that name as one word, but they ask summer or winter. So for me personally, instantly winter. I love the cold. I love just everything to do with winter. I love the snow. I love the traditions, like Christmas and all. I just love it. I love feeling cold completely. And I love the rain and just stuff like that. It's just so nice. And even if you're in your house and you're all warm, it still feels good to look outside and see just how crazy the weather can get. As for summer, I don't mean to be a summer hater, but I hate sweating. I hate feeling overly warm. I become less productive and stuff. Anytime I've went to a hot country, it's just been non-stop sun cream, and you don't need that in the winter. And I love to go on long winter walks, and just take in the breeze. It's amazing. I don't get how everyone doesn't love winter way more, especially after such hot summers that we've been having. So to wrap up, I'm just gonna do some of the more common questions. Favorite color is light blue, not turquoise, actually light blue. Favorite songs, I'm gonna link them in the description if you want to listen to them. I'm definitely a fan of more aggressive music, so I'm not gonna play it down your ears during this. So check them out if you want. Favorite anime would be Ouran High School Host Club, and it's basically this slice of life comedy, slightly romantic anime, and I've just loved it for years. I think an anime that has no action, no spectacle and crazy moments, if you can make the mundane everyday situations that entertaining, then you are an amazing anime. And it is an amazing anime, and everyone should check it out. With that, I want to wrap up today's milestone Q&A. I cannot thank you guys enough. I hope I answered all of your burning questions, and I want you to know that I read so much of what you guys say, and it's so supportive. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for this journey and all the support, and especially you Patreons. I cannot thank you guys enough. You've changed my life, and hopefully we'll get to 100k, and maybe I'll do another Q&A like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.